Good morning, everyone. This is the first time I have done a Twitter space for the New Media Club. We meet on a Wednesday at 11 a.m, so I'm very excited. I've let everyone know in the group. Hey, Dolly Scoobs, how are you? Can you hear me? I think I've got to make you a host. Invite to speak. There we go. Dolly Scoobs, Victoria, who's in the Media Club. I believe you're at Exeter Crown Court. I have been stuck in traffic and I've literally just got in. And I know I said I was going to start the space at 11 a.m. So can you hear me, Dolly Scoobs, Victoria?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey, yes. You're at Exeter Crown Court, is
That's
that right?
right.
Tell me what's going on. I know you've been a member of the Media Club for a few months and you've been using your mobile and video really to promote your campaign, which is an incredible one, which has really captured the hearts and minds of the public. I think a lot of people can really understand where you're coming from. So tell us a little bit about your campaign and how useful X has been and video has been.
Well, X has been amazing. I started off with a very, actually nobody, and I wouldn't have got anywhere without it. And then going on your course, learning about how to make videos, I've only just kind of cracking that, I think. And the last couple I put on have, done very well, as in people watching them and everything. So that's really good. But for me, that and the speakers you've had who have really taught me something. That to me is so crucial, how to do a good press release, all those things that I've had to do this. So yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled, and all the new skills I'm learning and everything. Going to the courts is the easy bit, really.
Oh, it's so great for you to join me. I've just sat down now. I can actually finally think. It's so much fun to be in this media club where we can support each other. And when I've listened to these Twitter spaces before, X spaces, Victoria, and often it's just a face and a voice, but we've got to know each other, haven't we? It's like, I know you, I've met you, and we've built that trust and we're supporting each other because the campaign you're doing, it's tough. It's really tough. And I know, like, when I've done work with victims of child sexual abuse, for example, or any kind of more tough, challenging, but important type of journalism, you've got to be very aware of self-care and looking after yourself and taking some time out as well. I mean, I had something called vicarious trauma, because you then are seen as a beacon of hope and light for others who want to also get justice. And they're just so grateful to you, and they tell you their stories, and it can have an impact, can't it? You can think, yes, this is very important, but at the same time, I need to take some time out sometimes when you're working on a campaign. And I thought you've been really honest about that, Victoria, and I can really understand where you're coming from. And that's something in the group I think we can support each other with, is when we're doing this kind of work, that it can be emotionally, it can be upsetting. It can be very upsetting.
Yeah, definitely.
You're where are you right now? So you're actually outside a Crown Court, are you?
I am. Well, actually, I've just walked back to the car because there was nothing really happening. I had lots of chats with, various people going in that were actually going to court, and the security who were lovely and invited me inside, which was nice. So I went and had a cup of coffee in there. So yeah, so I'm on my way to Taunton shortly, and that means I will have done. I've only got 13 left to do by tomorrow. So out of the 69, so I'm kind of seeing the end now, which is brilliant.
That's unbelievable. Just quickly, I know we're going to come to Paul as well in a minute, who's joined. I hope everyone else, Paul, could you make sure everyone else in the Media Club is aware of this? Because we have a little WhatsApp group, don't we? And quite a lot of people said they would join. And at the moment, I can only see you two. So what I just wanted to ask you about, Victoria, was this holding judges to account is really what your campaign is about. Do you think we can do that, the public, on social media? Do you think it's our job to hold them to account?
Well, it's really funny you say that, because I've just met this guy who said outside there, who said it most definitely is, but he didn't kind of help me in a way. It's impossible. I mean, it's an impossible thing to do, to overturn a justice system that's been like this for hundreds and hundreds of years, and it does not like change. But I think we can make people aware of it, the fact that judges aren't accountable, because that's what I found. 99% of the people that I speak to don't believe me. They say, no, that's not right. And then when I explain to them, they're shocked, just like I was shocked. So I think we can have power in letting people know, but that's not going to actually do anything at all. You know, it has. Yeah.
What I love about you, Victoria, is this is something that impacted your daughter, and it was horrific what happened to her. But we don't really even need to go hugely into the details of the case, because simply you saw something that shocked you, that was that you felt needed to be addressed, and you've gone about doing something about it. With these 69, you said you got visiting.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. How many people would do that? They'd go, "Oh, it's the system." They'd be quite. A lot of people can be quite cynical, can't they, when they face a situation like this? But you've decided to do something, and I'm so glad that you're part of the media club, that we were able to help in any way, and that we continue to support you on your journey. You've got hopefully people can follow you and support you, because your different Crown Courts. It's nice to have some company, isn't it? I should imagine when on your.
That's the best, when people come and join me, and with their stories, and yeah, it goes much quicker and it's great. But you know, it's just getting the word out there, and a lot of people are young and they're working, and you know, they can't make it, which I totally understand. I'm there as a, you know, that's me. I'm just flying the flag for all the people out there that feel the same as I do.
That judges need to be held to account. So wonderful to hear from you. Anyone listening, please go and follow Dolly Scoobs. We will definitely need to. Yeah, I mean, people really need to find out where you're going to be when. They could pop in their lunch breaks, because you're in city centres, aren't you, across the UK? Thanks ever so much.
No problem.
Feel free to go if you're busy. So over to Jan, actually. Jan, are you available to speak? This is the first time I've done one of these. I'm going to invite you to speak, see if you're available. You're listening at the minute. And the other people who've joined are part of the media club. But Jan, you're somebody that I trained a while back. I've asked you to be. I think you're just listening. I've invited you to speak. Maybe you're just listening at the minute. Paul, we'll come over to you. Thank you very much for joining, Paul. So we meet every Wednesday on 11 a.m. and it's all about the power of new media. So we've just heard from Dolly Scoobs there, who's basically launched an incredible campaign, going outside every single Crown Court in England, basically saying judges needed to be held to account. Paul is a volunteer on a radio station in Pontypridd, and he started doing video, and he covered the Eisteddfod very successfully doing video. So, Paul, over to you. How are you doing this morning?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hooray. Yes, working.
Doing really well. Still recovering from the post-Eisteddfod fatigue, if you like, because it was 8 days of producing 68 newsy sort of videos for various different people at the Eisteddfod. It was probably one of the best things I've ever done in terms of fun and creativity and everything like that, because you got to meet so many different people and give them a voice, basically. Give them a little video showing what they do. They can explain their day. It was great. It was great. On the interest, go on.
I have seen you improve so much. It's incredible. And you know, I do all these videos from my car or in the kitchen, on my mobile. Boring. You're out and about talking to people. The Eisteddfod, there was choirs where there were artists.
Oh yeah,
all these different crafts. Tell me a little bit. Tell me what you learned. So really, what I want to know is, so good headlines. What worked on Facebook? It was Facebook mainly. What worked really well in terms of reaching the local audience?
What worked really well is people who had a really, really strong and positive emotional landscape within them, basically, in a nutshell. And the ones who were a bit sort of grumpy or sort of had a bit of an ego about them, people didn't want to really watch that. There was a couple of people I interviewed that were sort of but the kind old women of the Salvation Army, they had a lot of views. The woman with the cushion shop, who is really sort of wonderful and nice and everything. That's what people want. They want positivity.
Well, what was it? That's interesting. Isn't that interesting? What is it why did certain videos do well when you covered so many over that 8 days? I saw those as well. I think it's a sort of warm, kind face, someone who's really genuine, who's really got passionate about singing or passionate about helping
Absolutely.
people.
The ones that give you a sort of a good feeling rather than good information. Like there was tons of interesting information, like the guy from the museum, or the Welsh people with a massive following in America with their big party coming up in Pittsburgh and stuff. Oh, that's all well and good, yeah, information, but people want good feeling. Like the thing that had the most views was singing a choir that sang this really rousing Welsh song, and it had something like 50 to 60,000 views, just that video on its own. So yeah, that's what people
No
want.
way. They must be so pleased with you. GTFM must be so
Oh, they're
pleased with
delighted.
you.
Yeah.
And it's all down to this training that you've done with the Barista
It
Media
was.
Club.
The training was perfect. It really helped you understand exactly what you're supposed to do and the best way of doing it. And you could practice and get really good, accurate feedback to say, oh, no, this is no good. Yeah, this is the way to go now. And tips on how to use the editing software really well, find things that are difficult to find in there. It all brings you on really, really, really quickly. And this is living evidence how quick it can go.
It is. Get a good story. There's a small paper in Barry that did a piece on Gavin and Stacey that got 1.6 million views. We can do this. This is working. The video I did with Victoria, who I was just speaking to there, we did an interview, and she ended up being, people offered her accommodation for free while she went around the country on the back of the video. I mean, we are reaching people. It is working, and what you've done, Paul and Pontypridd, with GTFM is just fantastic. So thank you for joining
No
us. I'm going to go over to. I'll come back to you. If you need to leave, that's cool. I can share this as well to my other channels. But this is interesting. It's good fun to do something a bit different. Jan, you sent me something today. Now, Jan was on a course years ago. I think it was 2019. Are you free to speak, Jan?
Yes, I'm free to speak, Anna.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Anna. How are you? It's nice to hear from you.
We're talking about the power. It's lovely to speak with you. It's the power of new media, the training that we can do to learn how to create really professional video and make a difference in terms of whatever situation we may find ourselves in, and exposing corruption, injustice, abuse. So you've had a lot of success since we had that training course. Your video that we did. We recorded a video, didn't we, that reached, how many people did it reach, Jo?
Over 1 million on Twitter.
Over 1 million on Twitter. It caught the attention of a journalist called Marcello Mega. Then it was on the front page of a national paper in Scotland, and you ended up with some compensation and an apology. Is that right?
Yes, I was compensated by the company that unfairly dismissed me. They gave me an apology. It wasn't much of an apology, but it was at least an admission of guilt in some shape or form.
And basically the video and there's a way of doing it. So just some tips from you, Jan, in terms of, I know you've continued your campaign, so it's not just on the front page of the paper in 2019. You've continued your campaign, haven't you, on X, also talking to journalists, and I know there's an article out at the moment in relation to your case. So give us some tips on how you can keep your campaign in the public, in the public eye, so it doesn't just die, and that injustice and abuse and corruption or whatever an organisation may be guilty of just goes away. Can you give us some tips?
You just have to be consistent. You have to not give up. When you're tweeting things, or X as they like to call it now, when you put up a tweet, use relevant hashtags, copy in people that you think are relevant at any given time. I used the Me Too hashtag because it was very relevant to my case. Since then, if there's anything trending about sexual abuse, I tend to tag that in because it then bumps your posts back up again. And it got me the notice of further journalists who have picked up my story again. And I've actually got someone now who's offering to help me sue Police Scotland due to their infringement of my human rights.
And it was in the Byline Times?
Yes, it's in the Byline Times today.
Article?
And they also have it on the Byline Times Twitter page. It's up there as well.
So did they contact you or did you contact them? So this is interesting because there's a hashtag called Journo Request where lots of journalists are out there looking for case studies. So what happened with that?
I've never heard of the Journo Request one. That's probably something I need to take on board. No, actually, it was a post that was up on LinkedIn, and I tend to use LinkedIn more for my work things, so I tend not to speak about my abuse case on there, but someone was speaking about police in action, and I commented under a post and then was contacted by John Robertson, who is a fraud investigator, and he offered to pick up my case and run with it. So he put it back into the public eye again and approached the Byline Times. But it's just a case that you just have to keep going. You have to not let go and not give up and just keep raising your public awareness. And I've done it for coming up for 10 years now, just with a...
But it is not just, yeah, it is not just, sorry to interrupt, Jan. I would say I would disagree with that. I would just challenge you on that, because I know people who never give up and won't give up and keep determined and show their upset and angst at the, being maybe a victim of injustice, abuse or corruption, and they won't stop and they won't give up, but they actually get themselves into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Because they're very angsty, emotional and angry. So it is more than that. What you've done is more than that. You've connected with organisations, professional organisations and journalists. But if you seem slightly emotionally distraught, I think those organisations can be quite fearful of getting involved. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, completely. And I quite often get up in the morning and think, oh my goodness, I was in such a state last night. What on earth have I put on social media? I need to go and check it just to make sure I haven't crossed boundaries, because it's a very fine line between being upset and gaslit and being deemed to be crazy because you're too passionate about what you write. But I think it's just a case of choose your audience carefully, and when you're going to tag people in, you're inviting them to join in and have a conversation with you. It's finding the right people and not badgering people.
It's when you're very angry and you think no one's listening and you've had a couple of drinks and you're on social media. It's completely understandable. And it upsets me because these people are really passionate and they've whistleblowed or they've spoken up, but they do feel like they're not being heard. So it feels like their emotions and they're distraught, they're trapped in this situation. Whereas I'm hoping that they can see the hope here in terms of, we're speaking to yourself, the success that you've had, also Dolly Scoob's success, Paul's successes in citizen journalism. But it just shows you how you can reach so many people with the power of the mobile phone, just filming with your mobile and writing great headlines. And like you say, targeting the right people. You have done a very successful job, Jan. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Anna.
We've got two more members of the Media Club here. We've got Kaz and Bernice. Would either of you like to have a chat? Because we've also got some people listening. So thank you very much for joining. This is the first time that we've done this. So we run a media club every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Most Wednesdays. It's been quiet over the holidays. And we learn from journalists. We've had Dallas Campbell, who's a BBC presenter. We've had Fiona Scott, PR expert who used to work at the BBC. We've had Judith Cocking, who's an executive coach who helped with confidence. So it's not just me. My skills really are showing people how to film and edit on their mobiles, write great headlines, and really grow attention to their brand, whether they're marketing or doing journalism. So am I able to come to Kazi? Are you free? And then I'll come over to Bernice. Is that okay? As members of the Media Club, you might just be listening and making a cup of tea. So if you're not able to speak, Kazi, that's absolutely fine. I've put invite to speak, but it's not doing it for some reason. Let me try with Bernice. This is quite good fun. It's like having a radio show, isn't it? I have enjoyed doing this. The only problem is when I'm trying to invite you to speak, maybe I need to uninvite people. I'm going to remove some speakers because that might be the problem. Let's see. Maybe I've got too many speakers.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'll press something.
Yes, yes, maybe Kazi's just listening. Bernice,
yeah, good.
How are
you? Hi, everyone. Great to see
really
you.
Good. I'm going to get... When I do this again, I'm
loving it. Yeah,
because we've got new people. Look, I'm going to do a little sing song at the beginning. Wednesday morning, it's the Media Club. It's the Media Club, and you're going to sing. You're going to sing with me,
yeah,
okay?
Up for that.
Wednesday morning, it's the Media Club. So, how are you? How are your campaigns going? Because I know you do some kind of journalism, activism, and you also do some marketing. Where have you gone? Come on, Elon Musk, sort this out.
I'm here, Anna, now.
Hello, I'm gonna have a word with that Elon Musk. This isn't good
The
enough.
mic is on.
I want
My
this
mic is on, and
right,
it
Denise.
wasn't earlier,
I
but I thought you could hear me, so it could be that.
I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you. We have a professional outfit here, darling.
Yes.
Denise, what do you get? How are you getting on with your marketing campaigns and your activism and journalism?
Yes, very good. I'm probably the other end of the justice and the abuse system, because of the nature of my work, sort of holistic world, advanced facial aesthetics as a Reiki master. But what I've been agree with Jan here, like don't ever give up. Is that years ago I became a Reiki master and everyone was in that woo-woo mood, but now moving forwards, at the Connaught in London. But most importantly, what I've been trying to aim at, and this is where your course for media and presentation skills, and just sort of stop the fluff and get on with it kind of filming, has really helped me. It was that I wanted to achieve the authentic me, whatever that was. And because I've got a lot to say, and then I needed to condense it and make sense of it. And it's been absolutely it's been like gold mine for me with you, Anna, and and with Dallas as well. That really helped with the actual standing up there and getting over all those horrible nerves, So now moving forward, just quickly, I had a meeting yesterday on a Zoom call with a lovely lady called Sarah Wood. She's the NHS programs manager for the new hospital hub that's been finished. It opens in September. And I asked her if she was interested in having any form of holistic treatments there for patients that are struggling, or because I work with qualified cancer therapists. And she absolutely loved the idea. I got introduced via my MP. So it was all through the right channels, and she's asked me to speak to all the staff there as well in the breakout area one day. Just sort of being mindful, mental health, and all that sort of stuff. And I was absolutely over the moon. So for me, that was like winning the jackpot. So now, from going from woo-woo 10 years ago, being taken seriously in the NHS for healing energy practitioners is absolutely incredible. So,
That's interesting. What's doing you? What woo-woo? What's this woo-woo business?
when
Is that
people
where
just sort of take the what and just go, oh, you're still doing all your woo-woo, and all that. And
yeah, you do. Stop doing
yeah,
your
I say,
woo-woo.
I'm still doing that woo-woo. But you know what? That woo-woo.
No, I need pills. I need that. I need
a
big pharma
woo-woo
pills.
pill.
I'm believing in this woo-woo.
So
basically, your woo-woo craziness is now mainstream, yeah?
It's
You're
mainstream media with Anna Bruce. You heard it here first.
Right, you're still woo-woo to me.
We love woo-woo.
There's nothing wrong with woo-woo. I'm woo-woo.
We do woo-woo voicemails.
With it, energy healing is yeah, you work in the Connaught, which is like the poshiest hotel in the world, and you've had some amazing clients. Am I allowed to mention any of your clients? Or did you get into trouble?
All of them.
You had the CEO of Bumble, the dating app.
Oh yeah. So she was the CEO. Yeah, no names. I'm not breaking any kind of confidentiality, client confidentiality, because that's absolutely forbidden in my world, for obvious reasons. So this lady was the CEO of Bumble, and had a Reiki treatment. Loved it because Reiki is it's energy healing. In America they call it Reiki, but they also call it energy medicine. And it's the same delivery. And I asked her at the end, and I said, can I ask you a question? Have you found that people like really lethargic after lockdown, and like they just got no energy? And she went, oh my God, yes. She said, I had to tell literally everybody after a few weeks, get back into the office. We are not working from home. So that was Bumble HQ CEO from New York. Yeah. And I think it's probably the biggest dating site in America. Yeah, so that was interesting.
Yeah, not just that, and we can't name no names, but there's been a very, very big, probably one of the most famous artists in the world.
I can say that, Damien Hirst. Yeah, because he's a regular, and him and Sophie were living at the Connaught for 3 weeks, a couple of years ago. Yeah, it was a summer holiday.
This is the thing. It's CEOs. It is mainstream, and it's great to hear. And the world is changing
massively.
So I have a lot of interesting chats with you about this. And the a spiritual awakening, I
Yeah,
guess. I think we all have a voice. I think for so long
absolutely.
we've just
Yeah, and people are not
we've had
frightened
other
to dig
people
deep
tell
on
us.
that now, because our spiritual well-being. So spiritual, what is that? It's not contacting Aunt Mabel, or join hands and we're raising the dead. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just your core beliefs, your spiritual belief. What makes you tick? Your heart center. Dig deep, get those answers out. You don't need a psychic to tell you those answers, but some people are frightened to dig deep and they'd rather somebody else highlight them for them. But you don't need to do that. You just do a little bit of grounding, take your shoes and socks off, go out on the grass. Obviously, if it's raining, keep your shoes on. And then you just sort of like Mother Earth it, just draw it up, get rid of push your electrolytes back down and draw up new ones from Mother Earth. Recharge. Little tweaks like that makes your day a better place.
It's great to speak to you,
Sorry,
Denise.
I'll
Thanks ever
start.
so much
Yeah,
for
you know
joining.
what
And
I'm
I've
like.
had
Just pull my
conversations
plug out.
with you. I've spoken to you, and I'm like, oh, I'm a bit embarrassed because I'm really interested in this bit. Being I'm like fifth dimensional, I want to talk. And it's no, it's not
No,
embarrassing.
you go onto
Oh yeah, you have
TikTok.
to be all
You go onto
boring and
TikTok, and
corporate.
then the kids are all over it. I mean, they're doing like woo-woo movements with their hands down, and they're only like 18, sort of 20, which is amazing. This is the generation that's going to move the planet forwards.
It is the children. What's happening
Absolutely.
on TikTok, and my
There's a
kids
good
love it.
movement as well
Thank
as
you,
a negative.
Denise.
Yeah, there's always a positive.
For anyone that's joining, thank you ever so much for joining. I'm not sure if we've spoken to Kazi yet. Sorry, Kazi.
Hello,
are you free?
can you hear me all right?
Yeah, how are you?
Good, thank you very much. All good here.
We did a video on Billy Joel. It's my highest watched video on TikTok. So thank you for sending the material. There was a few things with that Billy Joel concert. I knew a lot of people would be there. A lot of people would be searching for it on social media. It was his only concert in Europe, I think. And we got it out quickly. We wrote a good headline and we got it out quickly. So teaching you guys really how to maybe capture a trending story, get some views behind it. So for any of you, watching what's trending in the news is a really good way of, talking about it in a fresh and original way, or getting something content out there is a really good way of building your following, I think. But how are you generally, Kazi? And have you been doing a lot of video lately?
Yeah, I'm always doing a bit of video. It's my sit down and relax hobby, really. But I mean, the Billy Joel one was your genius, really. I was there, I saw your message and I thought, great, just filmed loads of shots, sent them to you, and you turned it into something really fabulous. All the up speeds worked really well. My only disappointment was I couldn't get close enough to the stage to get a nice close up of him. But I thought that was so on the button that
we were balancing it. Yeah, this is how I worked in the newsroom. So you have to balance getting something out quickly with the shots not quite being right. So we were missing some close-ups, but close-ups even on the audience. And you got to be careful though, because you're in a private land. You're not really supposed to do close-ups of people. So what you did was perfect. We had to get it out quickly. What I did was I detached the audio as well. So I wanted to put some nice music on there as well as the shots. So that was a little quick trick I've done. It's something I need to teach you guys actually, because the music of the Billy Joel was over it the whole thing, but the shots changed. So yeah, it was just something that you get out really quickly. And I learned so much from working in a TV newsroom about how to respond to daily breaking news stories, how to get them out quickly. And I think it's something we're all learning, we're all doing, and we're doing it very, very well. I'm seeing the people take over now and being the mainstream journalists, really. And Kazi, you do competitions, you've also got marketing. What I was interested in talking to you about, Kazi, is Paul's obviously doing on the ground journalism on video in Pontypridd. You were talking about maybe starting a hyper local station, because I'm very interested
I really
in that.
want to do that. And I think it's about 2.5 years since I did my first training with you, Anna, I think, not last February, the February before. And since then, I've become so passionate about making the videos. I spend hours playing with them, editing. I'm pretty good now on the CapCut. And I really, really want to have a little local station here. I live in Freshwater East, which is really very touristy during the summer months. And I'd love to have on a page all that's going on, talk to the villagers. We got lots of artisans here. But unfortunately, at the moment, I'm still trying to write my PhD thesis. And until that's done, I dare not take on that project. But once it's done, I've got a plan to do that. And I'm really excited about it too.
Fab. Well, we've got Graham and Paul in the group, and obviously myself. I run a local group, and it's been, for me, this is, there was such an incredible opportunity for anyone really who wants to go out and about. So I was just in Penarth. It took me 10 seconds. They were obviously doing some filming there. Put that out. That's got 7,000 views. I've built up this local page. Obviously, Paul's done something similar. I got 60,000 views for some of his videos. You know, that is a lot, and it's a local audience. You just then have to look at monetizing that. You don't have to. There's lots of people like Kazi. You could just do that because you want to, you're just very passionate about the community and what's going on in the community. You know, a lot of people do this and they're retired and they have no interest in monetizing it. But, you know, there is a way to monetize this as well. So having a super hyper local TV station doing really great video, I could easily do 2-3 good quality TV packages, news packages, you know, or mobile packages on my mobile in this small local area and get them out and get great views. It's something I'm really enjoy doing, Kazi. So I really want to support you with that when you're ready to
Brilliant.
start it.
Thank you.
Well, listen, I said this is only going to be half an hour. I hope you've all enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
I've just got to work out this speaker thing. So if I'm going to invite you all to speak. We're there. Let me see.
Earlier on was my fault because a pop-up came up saying allow access to your microphone, and I didn't notice it had popped up.
I'm the same here.
Yeah.
This is something we're going to learn. A lot of people are listening and they don't want to speak, but it's just something I'd like to understand. Get a quick review of speaker requests. I don't know if there's a slight delay. That was all. It's understanding how this works. It's a bit like a radio station.
When I tapped the little grey microphone, bottom left-hand corner, then the drop bar down, it came down at the top and says allow access. So it wasn't until I pressed that little grey microphone and then it said mic on and it turned purple.
Yeah, and then it changed under the name to say I was a speaker, not a listener.
Well, I just get everyone. I can request everyone to be a speaker and see what happens. Anyway, that was fun, wasn't it? I enjoyed that.
Excellent.
Right, we'll speak again soon, my friends.
Okay,
Take
bye,
care.
everyone. Have a good day.
Keep smiling. Keep filming. Keep editing.
Bye.
Bye.